Night Company. I'm Amalia, and this is Brandon Scullion, and we are here to say Happy
Thanksgiving!
Woo!
We watched 5 really interesting Thanksgiving horror films. We didn't watch all the Thanksgiving horror films.
There's a lot out there.
For any one of them, you'll be entertained. There was really only one that was just bored me to death.
So here we are, counting down from 5.
So number 5 on our list is a film called Blood Freak, and we watched it just about an hour ago.
Yeah, we put a lot of time into getting these movies in, and it came down to the wire, but we watched all of them. Yes.
So Blood Freak is about a man named Herschel who has just returned from the Vietnam War, and he's immediately addicted to pot. This woman named Angel gets him hooked on it immediately. All it takes is one puff, kids. Don't you know? So he gets a job at an experimental turkey testing facility where they offer him more drugs, which is just pot, and they get him to eat this experimental turkey meat, and he goes through a transformation.
He turns into a turkey man, and he can no longer do drugs, so he has to, because he's got like the beak and shit, he has to drink the blood of drug addicts, so he's killing druggies for their sweet, sweet juice. It came out in 1972, right?
Yeah.
And there's 2 directors. They're both in the movie. What he has yet to mention is there's sort of like these Rod Serling outtakes, like of the director talking to the camera.
Like mixed all throughout the movie. There's like 5 different times where the movie is interrupted by the director.
A pretty girl with a problem. Who could resist? Certainly not Herschel.
And it's great because he's like trying to smoke cigarettes like Rod Serling, but he starts like coughing and they don't even do like extra takes for it. They just leave it in there.
Have a happy ending.
One of the things that I personally had a problem with in Blood Freak was they actually killed a real turkey on screen, and that bummed me out. Like I just told Brandon, I was like, please tell me when I can look again. I don't want to see this.
It was made in a different time. They straight up behead a turkey in the movie, and they don't cut away from it. And you see it's like, like life-filled body flailing about headless. So be warned, that is a thing that's in that movie.
There's 2 directors on Blood Freak. One of them is Steve Hawke, who you probably know as Tarzan, and he's a good-looking dude, and he's the only actor in this movie that has any credits to his name. So it's odd to me to put your leading man in a mask for 90% of the movie.
Yeah, really bizarre choice. The mask is actually really cool, though. That was one thing that I liked about the movie. It's really creepy.
Yeah, I love that mask, and like especially in those like night shots where he's just lurking around like a lurking turkey. He sort of looked like Rockadoodle.
Rockadoodle meets Wolverine.
Meets Gaston.
All 3 of those.
If you mash them together. So this movie is bonkers. It looks like crap. It sounds like crap. But if you have ever wanted to see a man with a turkey head running around drinking blood, this might be for you.
Thanksgiving 2 has been destroyed. Only 1 copy remains, and Turkey will stop at nothing to get it.
All right, number 4 on our list is Thanksgiving 3. There is no Thanksgiving 2, which becomes actually a plot device in this movie. It's honestly like one of the hardest movies to describe ever. It's kind of like doing a lot of drugs and watching Adult Swim for 2 hours straight.
It is. They raised the money for Thanksgiving 3 on Kickstarter. They raised like $100,000, didn't they?
They did.
Which is in stark contrast to Thanksgiving 1, which was a $4,000 budget.
Yeah, so you have puppets, you have the return of Turkey, our villain from the previous film. You've got dudes in white powder wigs, Thanksgiving land, a lot of meta shit that probably went way over my head.
Same.
It looks great.
It's the same cinematographer and director as the first one, and it's just in a completely different league, which is, good for them. You can tell their skills have grown.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely funny. I laughed a lot. It's super meta, so I'm not sure what it's... I mean, there's a lot going on there, but definitely worth a watch.
So we're going to be having some folks join us for Thanksgiving?
We're going to send somebody out here. They're going to teach us how they did things in the olden days.
Number 3 on our list is a film called Pilgrim, which was produced by Blumhouse for Hulu's Into the Dark series. It's about a very angsty young lady who is super frustrated with her family, and while they're sitting down to eat dinner, She makes a wish with an honest-to-God wishbone, you know, where you do with the pinky and you pull it apart.
What do you say we break the wishbone?
1, 2, 3. I can hardly wait. Me too.
She makes a wish that the Thanksgiving will not go well for her family.
How do you do?
And her stepmother has decided to hire this group of Pilgrim, like, first Thanksgiving reenactment group.
What's a full reenactment of the first Thanksgiving? This doesn't feel right.
You have a wonderful family.
It's like a real white lady thing, like she is trying to be Martha Stewart or something. And slowly more and more of these Puritans appear, and things go downhill from there for this family, all because of this wish.
It's all sort of presented as an allegory or a metaphor for the Europeans and the people who came and invaded the United States before it was the United States and, you know, committed genocide to the pre-Americans or Native Americans. It hits you over the head with it, I think. It's not very subtle in its symbolism.
It's also got that sort of moralistic Tales from the Crypt, like, you know, be thankful for what you've got so everyone learns a lesson in the end.
As it gets further and further along in the film, it almost becomes exclusively shot on wide-angle lenses,
Yeah.
which has this weird sort of distortion effect on the edges. But it's an inspired choice, I think, and not one I've really seen that done that very often.
No, the lenses are pretty close to almost like a fisheye lens. Like, they're very distorted, and it gives you this sense of unease as things get worse and worse. So it was definitely an interesting choice. I didn't mind it.
Ultimately, it's a fun movie. I'd recommend it.
Yeah, same.
Looks like you're gonna get a chance to meet the rest of the family. My psychotic brother just escaped.
Hot bread, everybody.
Here's to the new family.
Number 2 on our list is probably the most well-known Thanksgiving horror movie. It's called Blood Rage. It's about twin brothers. One of them is evil and one of them is not. And the evil one kills someone at a drive-in when they're kids. The good one goes to a mental asylum while the other one gets to live his best Patrick Bateman life. It's Thanksgiving and one brother escapes from the asylum while the other finds out that his mother is remarrying, and it sets him off.
Drives him absolutely nuts. Another movie where the character smokes pot and then he just goes on a killing spree. The bad one, of course, just starts killing everybody. The other twin shows up and, you know, everybody thinks it's him and he's got to clear his name at this point.
I love this movie. It holds up really well. It's fun. There's a lot of cranberry sauce references.
It's not cranberry sauce. That isn't cranberry sauce, Artie. That is not cranberry sauce. It's not cranberry sauce, Artie.
The end is kind of dark. I don't want to spoil it, but
It's a really fun movie. It's so bizarre. It's just another really trippy movie where you just got to see it to believe it. It has that great 80s quality where just anything can happen, and it's just a super fun movie.
and I think it wins the award for the most awkward sex scene ever on that diving board.
There's no such thing as an evil turkey. There's
No such thing as an evil turkey. Oh, wait. I lied.
Number 1 on our list of Thanksgiving treat films. That's what I'm calling this list, Emma.
Okay.
Number 1 is Thanksgiving. There's a turkey. I'm going to animate a turkey in right there.
It is bonkers. Like, it's like one of those movies that's like made to be bad. Like,
Absolutely.
It's so bad it's good.
Thanks, Daddy. I'd die if it wasn't for you.
It's incredibly quotable. I hope we can put some quotes right here.
Gobble, gobble, motherfucker.
Thanksgiving is extremely low budget. I think we found
It's like
out.
$3,500. It was made by a bunch of college kids. Like, they did it on campus on like a summer break or something like that.
It doesn't look good. It's got terrible special effects, but there's a charm to it.
Absolutely.
There's a very likable quality to this film, and sometimes it even borderlines on legitimately clever.
I really loved this movie for a lot of reasons. It had a lot of great one-liners.
You're done, bitch.
It had some pretty, like, impressive gore.
The opening shot of the movie is this, like, naked woman with her boobs, like, all the way out there.
Yes, boobs in the first 30 seconds. Wanda Lust.
Wanda Lust. Lots of interesting people. General Bastard.
And these are real, like, I Googled them. I think they're real people. These aren't stage name. Well, never mind.
I really love Thanksgiving. It was my favorite one we watched by far. The most quotable, the most fun. It's a great one to just have on a party and just hanging out with your friends, and just, if you want to have a good time, Thanksgiving is the movie for you.
For a movie being so bad it's good, it actually is completely entertaining from the beginning to the end, and especially at a runtime of about an hour and a few minutes.
Yeah, it's not long at all. It's very short, and it's worth your time.
I'm gonna drink your blood like cranberry sauce, meanie.
All of the movies we watched on the list we saw on streaming services for pretty much free. There are some where you have to watch with commercial interruptions like Vudu or Hulu, but we're going to put links to all of these movies down below and check them out because it's a lot of fun. Watch them on Thanksgiving.
Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, please make sure to like and subscribe, and if you have anything to say about any of these Thanksgiving choices, make sure to comment below. Happy Thanksgiving from both of us.
Happy Thanksgiving.